Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here in the Choice Chats. I am excited to record another microcast. For those of you who don't know, I'm Loren and created the Choice Chats as a love letter to all the people in the world who have pivoted with purpose. They made a bold choice in their lives that led them to where they are today. And I am happy, excited, and everything in between to have today Dr. Zylberglait, my best friend, confidant, therapist, but also fellow author of the 3G Cycle of Life. And so I want to welcome you, Miriam, to our Choice Chats today.
It's such a pleasure to be here today with you. I'm so proud of everything that you have been achieving. I saw you growing as an author, as a person, and it's such a beautiful image and such a beautiful example of grit and growth that right now you are sharing with others, and that's the best manifestation of real growth, when you can actually use your experience and your feelings and your challenges as a way to motivate, inspire others. So I am so proud to be today here with you.
Miriam, as always, thank you so, so much. But this is not about me. This is about you. And I want to highlight all the wonderful things that you are doing. As a testament, I could not have done this without you in many ways, because you were there when I felt alone. And we joined during a time where we were both going through similar challenges in our lives, but you were one of those angels that were sent my way, and I will forever be grateful to you. And I want to highlight your story. So I want to pause there and give you an opportunity to share what is your story with our audience.
Yes, you said something so true, right? We were going through a lot, and I believe that in some way we continue going through a lot, right? Maybe in different circumstances, but every chapter of our life, not only our life, but in general the life of every one of us, is full of flavors, right? And some are sweet and some are bitter. But really, is the question is how we use them in our favor, and how we use them to put the condiments in our life, right? So it's flavory and it's yummy. I am a Latin girl. I am Peruvian. Hola a todos. I grew up in Peru, and I went to medical school there. I have been a workaholic all my life, and a type A and a super achiever. I never know that those titles, existed, but I have been behaving like that forever. I procrastinated on taking care of myself, and not only my health but also my well-being and my personal life. I got married late in life, and I had my kids being over 40, and actually is that the reason why I came to the US, following the Prince Charming, right? Following the love of my life, the father of my babies. And I had to start from zero here, with a new language, a new culture, become a doctor again in in this system that is so different that where I grew up. And now I am here reinventing myself again, trying to find my own purpose at more than 50 right now, and as a mother, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, author, leader, and daughter too, right? And friend.
Miriam, you underestimate your power, because yes, you came here and you had to start over, which takes a lot of strength and courage, a lot of grit and determination. And so, in your quest for for establishing yourself in this new world. What was that contrast like? You were already a doctor in Peru, and when you moved here, right, you said you had to become a doctor all over again. Talk to us a little bit about that process.
I want to clarify that in my personal case, and I want to believe that this is something that we can extend to all of us in general. I didn't do this alone. I had a good network that started actually with my husband supporting my crazy dreams, right, and my awful schedules, and my parents and many of my friends and the mentors that I have been collecting through my life. And that's the reason why I believe I was able to get through this and to be successful, recognizing that you cannot do this by yourself, that you need help. Um, I did not feel a lot of trauma in the process. I decided that as soon as I am in the hospital, even I was older than my attendings on my faculty, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
could be the parent of one of my co-residents or interns, I decided that I will not pay attention to that, that I will come with an open mind and with curiosity, and I will learn as much as possible. What I had clear is that knowing medicine and being, in the past a faculty and a chief of a clinic or things like that, was not enough to be a good doctor in this country. I was supposed to learn, probably not medicine, but I was supposed to learn the system and I was supposed to learn the culture. So I took this as an opportunity to really absorb things that I didn't have inside of me, that I didn't know about. And it was not an insult to, to be a resident or an intern. I was still doing what any doctor does, right? Taking care of patients, having the adrenaline of, discovering things and learning new things and saving lives. So, yeah, I didn't feel offended or struggling. I just took it with this positive anxiety of what is there for me and how I can have joy through this process.
As always the optimist, even when we are going through. Yes, this is what I love about you. You are like sunshine. No matter how much it's raining, you're still shining bright. And this is what I love about you. And you talk about medicine and you came here and you adjusted, but somewhere along the way, you pivoted in a big way. You found your purpose. You are a big advocate about, eradicating burnout, which is what your book is about. So I want to talk about that pivot because that is the essence of why we are here. You pivoted with such intention and purpose. I want to hear about this pivot and what was that bold choice that you made at that point in time that led you here today?
So, with all due respect, I don't appreciate the way that we practice medicine here. Is not aligned with what I learned. It's not aligned with the type of person and doctor that I am. Um, I will not pinpoint, who is guilty of that or if it's good or bad. That's not the topic today, but I can say that was not aligned with my values, and that really was breaking my heart and was destroying me as a person. I was always feeling that I was not doing things in my right way, what I consider right. 15 minutes appointments, rushing patients, just treating livers or kidneys instead of humans. That's not who I am as a person. That's not who I am as a doctor. And that's not what I wanted to do as a faculty. That's not the type of medicine that I wanted to teach to my residents. And I was naive enough to think that, I was able to change the system. Um, um, I have to admit that no, I am not able to do it. I was not able to do it, and I will not be able to do it. So I was obligated to create my own system and to hopefully inspire others that are going to similar situations and that don't find themselves in a place where they belong and where they feel true to themselves, to take the decision of jumping to that pool that maybe is not full of water, but that could be filled with the water, right? That will allow them to be proud of themselves and to live a life that is more aligned with who they are and with their dreams. Difficult, yes. Scary, oh my gosh, yes. But if you do it with a clear purpose, and if you do it for the right reasons, as if you do it with a humble, predisposition, and with open mind, open heart, allowing others to guide you and to support you, I believe that it's possible. And I am going through this, and I am happy. I feel happy and proud of my decision.
That's so inspiring because not enough, well, we don't talk about burnout enough, but not enough doctors acknowledge burnout in the way that it should. And so why burnout for you?
So I believe, and maybe this is something that majority will not describe in the same way that I do, but I believe that burnout is just a symptom. Right now, actually, it's even a clinical diagnosis, right? It's part of the codes that we use to, like we do with diabetes or hypertension. Burnout has a clinical code, is billable for purpose of clinical visits and etc. So it's a medical condition, burnout. But for me, it's the result of something. It's the manifestation of something. In my case, I can say that moral injury was the reason of my burnout, and that I will say something that is very frequently seen in the healthcare system and outside the healthcare system. When you are placed in a position where you have to do things that are not aligned with your values, that are not aligned with what is possible, humanly possible, right? When you are supposed to be awake for X amount of hours, and that means that at some point you will be making medical errors because you are not supposed as a human to be working for 30 hours, right? Or not eating or not resting. Or receiving orders from someone that never in their life saw a patient dying or gave a diagnosis of cancer to someone, or and you know that the order is not realistic, it's not appropriate, it's not even ethical. You get to a point where you are questioning every day yourself and the things that you are doing. And in my case, I got burnout because I was fighting and fighting and fighting, trying to avoid doing things that were against my will. In other cases, be, is more the guilt, the one that burns you up. It's like, oh my gosh, I cannot fight against the system. I don't have the strength, or I don't have, the possibility, and I am doing things that embarrass me as a person and that make me feel like I am failing myself and my patients or my employees or whatever it is. So I feel like these two options of moral injury are at the end what makes you feel burnout. Burnout really is for me trauma. For me, burnout is post-traumatic stress, is the representation of going through a stressful moments again and again in a chronic way. And that is why burnout is associated with depression and anxiety and insomnia and high cortisol, risk of diabetes, risk of cardiovascular disease, and at the end, even mortality and suicide. So that's how I see burnout. And yes, I went through it, and I believe that I am not fully recovered yet. This is something that is not like this
Right.
magic. You get there, you get out of it. It's chronic. It's a chronic exposition of yourself to an environment that is toxic.
And I thank you for being not only an advocate, but for being so transparent about the feeling of burnout and what it actually feels like. If we were looking from the outside in, you have a beautiful family, a wonderful, illustrious career, have a beautiful home, live in Miami, in sunny Miami. And so one would not equate what they see with burnout. And this is something you and I talk about a lot. It's that someone may look content, fulfilled, happy, full of joy, yet be completely burnt out and running on fumes on the inside. So I do appreciate you sharing that with our audience because we don't talk about it enough. And why I admire your work so much because you created this concierge virtual clinic around that same premise, knowing that everyone is so burnt out, yet life happens. They hardly have time to call the doctor, let alone go to see the doctor. So the fact that you provide access to a virtual clinic to help people navigate whatever it is that they need to in order to alleviate the burnout, whether it's physical or medical or both, is not only genius, it is actually a step in the right direction for all of us and a way of giving back in ways that we never even anticipated ourselves. And I love you that much more for it. So before we go, I want you to tell our audience what is one thing you would like for our listeners to learn from you today.
I I believe that what I would like to share is something that I didn't learn by myself. I learned from my kids, and that's a demonstration that we don't need a lot of certifications and diplomas and a big office to be emotionally smart or to have a good idea about what life is about. When I was really coming home crying about how frustrated I was, how tired I was, and my kids, even as small, they were able to see me suffering. One of them came to me, and being 7 years old, he told me, "This is your life. This is your choice. This is your journey." And this was under the context of me not liking my boss, right, or the system, and he's suggesting me that if I don't like my boss and what I do, I should quit and I should become my own boss, right? I should be the boss. And months later, I quit and I came back to him and I told him, "Baby, thanks to you, I am the boss now." And he was so proud and of me, of himself. And what I'm trying to say right now is that this is our life really, and that we may be victims in some way of circumstances that we don't have control, but there are many things that we can control, and especially we can control our decisions and our reactions, and how long we will stay in an environment that is not good for us or that is toxic, and how much we will accept being bullied, or we will accept being in a toxic relationship with a partner, or wherever it is, whatever it is. So we need to be accountable for ourselves, and we need to be responsible, and we need to act as adults. Victimization is just a way to find excuses and to hide from the responsibility that we have for achieving our own well-being and our own happy life. The happy life will be produced by us, not by someone else. It's our responsibility.
Thank you, Miriam, so much. And that is such a fantastic segue to our ending here is that it takes a bold choice. It is a choice. You have
Choice.
to choose, right? And sometimes those choices can be baby steps, but it's still your choice. Thank you so much for joining us today. Where can our listeners find out more about you?
LinkedIn as Dr. C or Miriam Zylberglait, and my website is www.virtualwellbeingmd.com. And thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much, Miriam. Thank you, everyone. Until next time.